Make una help me like and share if you're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, please like, share. Let's YouTube and Twitch. We haven't gone on Facebook yet, but if you're on YouTube, please and you can see the live, please like and share. That's gonna help us get the live to more people. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. All right. Let's go live on TikTok. All right. We'll go live very soon for TikTok. Yeah, everything is coming good on TikTok, so let's make una help me like and share. Make una help me like and share. Una help me like and share. We're gonna have a good show. I always bring good shows, come right. But let's like and share and get more people here to join the show. It's gonna be a good show today. Like always, right? Like always. But let's like and share. Let's like and share and get more people here to join the show. If you're here, please feel free to like. Please feel free to like and share and get more people here to join the show. If you're on TikTok, please feel free to like. If you're on Facebook, please feel free to like and share. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, please feel free to like and share. We still did grow our Twitch. We're not getting a lot of traction there, but we'll get there. If you go take us 10 years, we'll go get there. As in why you get your video go. We'll get there. We'll get there. Well, let's like and share for the people who are here on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Let's like and share, please. That helps get tells TikTok that I won't find him here. Tells TikTok. Oh yeah, TikTok and Facebook. It tells everybody that only here. So let's like, please. If I no like, I'm going to cry. That is the problem. So I don't want to cry. Please. Let us like and share. I'll be right back. Make I go top up my water. I hope say the sound they come out well. I hope say everybody they hear me well. If you can't hear me, please let me know. If you're on YouTube, you can't hear me, please let me know so that we'll go fix them before we get the show started. I know say sometimes technology they stress us, but we get them right. Most of the times we get them right. So if you're here, please let me know if you can hear. If you can't hear us, if you can't hear, I know, right? If you can't hear, then you don't even know what I'm saying, right? But if you see my lip moving and you can't hear, please feel free to let us know so we can fix it. Let's see. I need to go bring water because now I don't say my cho too much. Cho carry a lot. Cho cho is too much. You gotta go. Let me turn this one on. YouTube should be all set now. Man, don't mind me waiting at the peep here now. I did try look through my mic. You gotta go. My mic is blocking my screen. There's a screen here. There's a screen here. I used to have 4 screens, but I don't downsize them to 2, so that to be more simple and more, I don't know, more efficient, I guess. But anyway, make una don't mind me waiting that they try look here on my screen, on my monitor. Or you go call a monitor. That's how I go. Anyway, I thank you guys for being here. The doctor, I see you, T-Bobo. Bam, 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 bam. Long time no see. Long time no see. Bam, 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 bam. Borno, Black African, thank you guys for being here. Make una help me like, share, get more people here to join the show. We're gonna have a good show today. All right, make I go grab some water. I'll be right back. All right. Bam bam, I understand, Jerry. Me self sometimes to even record self na problem. Sometimes to record na problem, my brother. I understand. No reason na so it be. This adult life. Nobody tell us say na so it be. Everybody they rush to grow up. Nobody tell us say if you grow up, you go pay bills. So, Mama, thank you, Jared. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the galaxy, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. This is our adult life where we go enter like this. Nobody tell us, say, Omo, if you enter and I die, you do. You better be small pikin, you know, make your papa they pay your school fees. You know that good? Nobody tell us, so, nobody tell us. We just did a rush to grow up because we won't come up from house. Now, we don't come up from house. We want to enter. Now, we want to go and enter house back. Nobody will let you to enter. Now, you go pay your own rent now. You know that good? Like if you there abroad, you go to pay your own every month. If you there in Nigeria, you go at least go to pay our own 1 year. You know that good? Anyway, I thank you guys for being here. We're gonna have a good show today, like we always do. Make una help me like and share. We hit 2,000 likes. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bam Bam, my brother, thank you so much for the galaxy. Appreciate you. The doctor, thank you. T Dodo, thank you for being here. Samson, Twinkle, not simple. And make we continue to like. Make we continue to like and share. I mean, we have to get the show started anyway, because myself, I know even one day here too long, so I could just do my thing, you know, and see where we're at, and then go from there. It's gonna be a good show today, like we always do, like we always have, you know. I hope so everybody they drink water, because me, I don't drink my own water. I then they play with my own water. I need to play with my own, so me wanna try to drink on our own. Water is very important though. You go this and I will play. You go think say na play. Anyway, I see somebody there, don't they already talk? Igbo need to diversify their vote. Diversify their vote for who? For who are we diversifying vote for? There go. But stay tuned. We are going to talk about it and see if we really do need to diversify the votes. Appreciate everybody for being here, man. Appreciate you guys. Make I turn down the music so that we could just get them as ambience. You go. So that we could get the music as ambience, and then we get the show started. Make sure everything is working good. YouTube looks good. All right. Obviously. Igbo. This one is for us. Nkabunkai. Listen, man. Listen. The popular statement in Nigeria or Nigerian politics, right? Right? I want us to examine that one today. Igbos are not sophisticated voters. That is what I want us to talk about today. Politicians, commentators, everybody says it. And the one where they vex me past, now Igbo people, where they use them heavily against one presidential candidate, they now conclude Igbo voters are, emotional and incapable of strategy. I disagree, because that is not an honest analysis. It is political blackmail intended to shame, is intended to shame people out of their judgment. If you support their candidate, then you are strategic. If you reject their candidate, they reject their candidate over competence, character, or performance, right? You become emotional and unsophisticated. Let us discuss what sophistication actually means, right? Is a sophisticated voter, is it someone who predicts the winner and then joins the winning side? Is that what sophistication means? Or someone who examines the choices and votes the candidate he or she considers that is the best? Election no be sports betting, no be sure bet. If your preferred candidate loses, your vote does not become a foolish vote. It's what it is. Citizens are supposed to choose their leaders, not just guess who will win and then vote for that person. It's only in Nigeria you see it. Oh, this person will not win, so I will not vote for him. It's ridiculous. Let us look at the record of the Fourth Republic in Nigeria, right? 1999, Southeast supported Obasanjo. In 2003, Southeast again gave Obasanjo more support. Ojukwu was on that ballot. Ojukwu, that is one of the most revered figures in modern Igbo history. Southeast voted Obasanjo instead of Ojukwu. Now, you would think that this example alone, right, it would challenge the claim that the Igbo voters are controlled only by ethnic emotions, right? If ethnicity, sentiment were the only considerations, Ojukwu should have swept the whole of Southeast. Ojukwu was not merely just an Igbo candidate, right? He was still there till this day as a historic symbol. Yet, in Abia, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Obasanjo got the most votes there, right? Think about what that means, right? Igbo voters, they were able to separate cultural admiration from, voting Ojukwu. Instead, they chose Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the best choice to govern Nigeria. Igbo voters were able to separate it and vote Obasanjo. Now, what greater evidence of political independence do these people want? Right? 2007 again, the Southeast supported Yar'Adua, right? Whatever you want to think about the election, the flaws of the election, Yar'Adua himself acknowledged it. He began electoral reforms, right? Then you move to 2011. The Southeast again voted overwhelmingly for Goodluck Jonathan. 2015, the region supported Goodluck Jonathan again. Now, these same people, they call them clowns, especially the Igbo ones, they call them clowns. They say it's proof that Igbos are blind in loyalty because, Goodluck Jonathan, he lost again. He lost to Buhari at that time. But losing an election, does it prove that the losing voters lack judgment? The relevant question we should be asking is whether the alternative produced a better government that Nigerians were promised, right? That's what you would think. Buhari was presented as the reformer, person who would defeat corruption, restore security, build economy. After 8 years, Nigeria faced severe insecurity, deeper public debt, currency crisis, high inflation, widespread distress. The Southeast again rejected him in 2015. 2019 again, they rejected him, right? Looking back, right? Would you say that was an irrational decision? Or the Southeast recognize, the risk that others are ignoring? I remember for Port Harcourt that year, right? At the debate, older people about Buhari. This debate, what they do now for TikTok. Now for Port Harcourt, what I started. I used to debate older Nigerians then about Buhari. I was way younger. His records, he's available. His records, they were available in public. Everybody knew that one, right? Everybody knew about his records. Limitations. But people, when you see them being confident in Buhari, right? They tag that confidence as intelligence. And if you doubt that their confidence, now you be the ignorant person. But what in history tell us, right? What does history tell us about Buhari? What does history tell us about Buhari? The evidence is there to judge for those predictions. 2023 election, Southeast again voted overwhelmingly for Peter Obi, right? Again, the accusation. Igbos are emotional, just like some people are saying there now. Igbos are tribal. Igbos are not sophisticated voters. But Obi's support was not confined to Igbo land. He won Lagos. He won Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja. He attracted young professional urban voters across ethnic and religious lines. Southeast voters were also considered voted him in record at the time. The message on production and his reputation on fiscal restraint, that's what drew people to him. That's what drew most Nigerians to him. Every Nigerian voting bloc, it combines interest, history, identity, and the candidate evaluation. That's how every Nigerian voting bloc votes. The North has voted heavily for northern candidates. The Southwest has also shown strong regional coordination. The difference now is that those patterns, they are described as structure or strategy or electoral strength. But when Southeast displays the same interest, the language will change. It becomes you are emotional. It becomes you lack sophistication. Naija. Block voting, right? It's evidence of strategy in one region. But is it evidence of stupidity in another region? Is that what we're doing? I think it's unreal that block voting is evidence of smart voting in one region. But when another region does it, they say you are stupid. Isn't that something? Geographic voting culture is normal. For America, some states, they vote the same party for decades. Analysts there will call them, red or blue states, right? They don't call them unintelligent states. Loyalty can become unhealthy when it ignores performance. But a strong regional preference is not by itself proof of ignorance. It's just what it is. Now, make we examine the decision to reject Tinubu for 2023. And possibly again in the next election. The Southeast, right? Nigeria has experienced a brutal cost of living crisis under Tinubu. Fuel price rose sharply following his subsidy removal. The naira lost enormous value after the foreign exchange reform. Food inflation damaged household budgets, right? Businesses struggled with energy, transportation, and financing costs, right? Even the World Bank estimated the share of Nigerians living below national poverty. It rose from 61% to 63% from 2024 to 2025. 7 million people added into poverty in 1 year. Tinubu's government, right? But his supporters, his Tinubu government and his supporters, right? They keep arguing that these reforms, they are necessary. They will eventually produce stability. That argument, when I debate them too, I like to hear the argument. But the core question is, citizens will only judge a government by their lived reality, its protection of vulnerable people, and whether these promised reliefs, whether they've reached them. That's how citizens will judge you. Rejecting a government because of worsening hardship, that one na democratic accountability now. It's not ethnic emotion. If you see that a government is not working and you reject it, how is that you being emotional? How is that you being unsophisticated? It's only in Nigeria. If Igbo voters now examine Tinubu's records and conclude that he doesn't deserve another term, must they vote for him just because we want to? Must we vote for Tinubu now because we want to show that we are sophisticated? That one no be sophistication. That is surrendering your political power. That is what it is. You want to surrender your political power because you want to prove something to people. I'm not arguing that Igbo voters are always right. That's not what I'm doing here. We can be biased. We can follow propaganda. We can make poor choices, like voters everywhere. I'm not arguing that every Igbo person, well, you must support the same candidate. That's not what I'm saying. Candidates should earn votes, not inherit them. Bloc voting, it should reflect shared judgment, not an order imposed on individuals. Criticisms must apply honestly and equally. If you condemn ethnic voting in the Southeast, condemn it everywhere. When people for North, they vote Buhari every time, condemn them. When people for North, they vote Atiku every time, condemn them. Not be only when it happen for Southeast, you say, the Igbo people, they don't know how to vote. If you believe regions should diversify politically, just like this guy is saying, I don't know what his name is there. If you believe that we should diversify our votes politically, make that argument to every region. Don't reserve the language of emotion and political backwardness for only Igbo people. While describing this same behavior elsewhere, you say that one is a strategy. It's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. And this one, a personal message. When I know how they call my, my Igbo APC supporters, because they need to let person rest. This one is to them. This insult, when they repeat them to gain acceptance from una pay masters, I talk them. You keep repeating it because you want to gain acceptance from the people where they pay una. And it's okay. Oh, mad get mayor. Oh, mad get mayor. Oh, mad get mayor. It's okay. Disagreement is okay. But hate for your own people, that one no be analysis. Some of these clowns, they've discovered that if you attack Igbo voters, then go to see money or then go to see audience, right? They go carry themselves as courageous. We be independent thinkers. The one that gets me with these people, they feel like they are for some reason, they feel like now them get some type of moral standard. You see inflation rate at 39%. And some other person tell you, say, no, this one no good. You say, no, that person is emotional. I think you're a clown. I think you're a clown. And you're just a buffoon. I don't know what to tell you. Some other person chooses not to vote for somebody that brought inflation from 15%, which is not good. He doubled it. He doubled inflation. If you believe that a different candidate is better, present it with evidence. Compare records, defend policies, persuade voters with facts. Do not call them unsophisticated because you want to blackmail them. Your intimidation has failed, obviously. You want to blackmail them now. Say, oh, they are unsophisticated. Political sophistication is not measured by proximity to power or whether your candidate wins. No be so then they do political sophistication. It's the ability to study history, evaluate performance, recognize propaganda, weigh your interest, and accept responsibility. By that standard, the Southeast record deserves more than a lazy stereotype. You may disagree with the decision of the Southeast, but disagreement does not prove an absence of thought. It's what it is. In reality, if we're being honest, the record raises the opposite question. How many times must the Southeast warn Nigeria about a candidate? And then you watch the warning become reality and still be described as a region that does not understand politics? How many times? See Buhari. We want to now. We want to say Buhari go show us shege. We want to say Buhari go show us shege. We vote against Buhari 2 times. But still, now we know Sabi do politics. 2 times we vote against Buhari. But now we still know Sabi do politics. 2 times. We want to against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu done the show us shege now. We still want to go vote him again for another one to show us the final shege. But still, we are the ones that don't understand politics. I think it's very disingenuous. My message is simple. Coming 2023 Nigerian elections, vote your conscience. Study the candidates. Examine their records, teams, policies, character, and respect for democratic institutions. That's all I'm saying here. I'm not saying vote Obi. I love Obi. Shout out to Obi. You understand? I love Obi. Shout out to Obi. But I'm not saying vote him. I'm saying study him. I'm saying study their characters, study their records, their teams, policies, character, respect for democratic institutions. Do not vote someone merely because he shares your ethnicity. Do not reject the candidate you genuinely consider better because someone wants to shame you with the word emotional. If you do that one, the joke is on you. You go, they cancel the candidate where you believe truly that this candidate will do better. You go say because people they tell you say you dey emotional. You go and vote against your own interest. The joke is on you. No allow these clowns. Now clowns, me I they call them. Now clowns are they call them. No allow them to gaslight you into voting against your judgment. The joke will be on you. It's what it is. No be them go pay your food bill. No be them go pay your school fees. No be them go recover the lost years of bad leadership. It's been what now? It's been what? 12 years, right? Buhari 8, almost 12 years of APC bad leadership. About to be 16. About to be 16. If you let these people play you, the joke is on you. When the consequence arrive, the people where people you mocked or that mocked your choices, then go change their language, then go change party. Some of them go get appointments. The joke will be on the ordinary citizen who surrendered his vote to appear, say you want the look sophisticated. The joke will be on you. An Igbo voter does not owe any candidate a performance or political sophistication. A candidate seeking Igbo votes, that candidate owes Igbo voters a persuasive case. Now so democracy they work. Now so democracy they work. If you think about it any other way, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, that is my monologue for today. I know say some people don't they shout already. Igbo need to diversify their listen. How many times where Igbo people go warn you? How many times where Southeast go warn you about bad government before you go listen? Because you want to say Igbo people don't know how to play politics. But I'm up for that conversation. I'm up for that conversation. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I don't plan to be here for long. So if I see anybody requesting while I'm reading the chats, maybe I'll bring you up and we'll have a conversation about it. Otherwise, we'll call them a day and we'll see you next time. All right, let's go straight to the chats and then go from there. All right, wrong information. Inflation rate is at 15.43. Now, waiting they tell you. Tinubu play you while you're with that 15.43. Inflation rate is, in reality, 39%. What they did was rebase the economy. Make una continue to play on herself. Go and look at the inflation rate. Tinubu became president 2023. I said 2023, right? Yeah, 2023. Tinubu became president 2023. Inflation rate skyrocketed from about 15% to 39%. That's where the real inflation rate is at. In 2024, 2025, there was a sharp drop. Go look at it. There was a sharp drop. The policies that Tinubu used, bad policies that Tinubu used to carry that inflation rate to 39%. Tell me the policy that Tinubu put in place that brought that inflation rate. Tell me how much has the price of bread gone down? Because inflation primo is about cost of goods and services, right? Has the price of bread gone down since that 2024, 2025? It's called rebasing. They rebased the economy. That's what they did. They removed items. You get items where they for the consumer price index. Then come out items where they for that basket, where they check the inflation rate. They remove some items and then put new items that are more expensive, like IT, telecommunication, finance, all these fancy things, AI. They carry all those items now, all those items where they're more expensive, they can put for. I don't know if this thing I'm saying makes any sense to you, but that's what it is. All opinion matters. I would like to hear your argument on that one. I know say me and you don't talk. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you want to get around this one. Rebase does not solve economic inflation. What are you saying? I'm telling you, it's because they rebase the economy. That is why the inflation rate on paper went down. That is why. That is the reason why the inflation rate went down on paper. In reality, the cost of food and services are still the same or even worse. How do you check inflation rate? Maybe with cost of food and services. How else do you check inflation rate? Has the cost of food and services dropped? Has the inflation rate dropped on paper? Has cost of food and services dropped? Come on now. You say rebase does not solve economic inflation. Who you they tell that one? Don't I know that one? But the people in Tinubu's government, that's what they did. That's what they did to bring it down on paper, because obviously 39% doesn't look good on paper. So they rebased the economy to make it look good on paper. That's what they did. Give me another argument other than telling me rebasing does not solve economic inflation. I'm telling you on paper, that is what they did to bring it down on paper. In reality, cost of goods and services are still expensive in Nigeria. What are we doing? Now, why you didn't do? Now, why you didn't do there? They play why you, you know. Anyway, make we continue to read some chats here. We'll get to the guest queue in a moment. Say, give us your source. I don't explain my source to you now. If am I wrong for saying what I'm saying? Is it false that Tinubu economists they rebase the economy in 2024, 2025? Is that one wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me. If I'm wrong, tell me. Anyway. Me, I no go vote Tinubu. All opinion matters. I mean, I'm not gonna vote Tinubu. I no go see Shege. Go to put my hand for Shege. That one will be madness, right? That one will be madness. But anyway, maybe we're gonna have just one guest today, and we call it a day. But anyway, let's see who's here. I just want to talk this one. This one in my chest because anytime I call these people clowns, they give me joy. Anytime I call these my Igbo brothers clowns, they give me joy for body. You know, so I just wanted to come up here and call them clowns. What a good day to call them clowns, right? Right? They want to pose as the people who get moral standard, the highest moral standard for Igbo land because then they're different. Because we are independent thinkers. Independent for economy, we won't finish you. Anyway, it's always ridiculous when I hear these people talk. So I like to call them clowns. Anyway, make we bring our first guest up here.
Alpha.
I did fine. The doctor. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, greetings. In regards to the topic, it was not sophisticated. I think in terms of voting in the credibility of the candidates, I think Igbos are the top scorers in that aspect because Igbos has been the one that always votes someone from different race and ethnicity. If you look at the Hausa people, they vote based on religion. You look at Yoruba people, they vote based on Emilokon. So it's always my race or my religion. But Igbos are the ones that would actually. Buhari got a lot of votes in Southeast when he contested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tinubu also.
Actually, make I just correct something, right? The Yoruba people, not necessarily. Their vote was very divided. You know, Tinubu got maybe 47%, maybe 47% from the Southwest in general. I think Obi got maybe 20%, and then the rest, Atiku or the rest of the other people. So not necessarily Emilokon. Their vote still, even though they're block for Tinubu, as in Tinubu got the majority, yes, but it wasn't like 80% went to him. So I just want to correct that one.
That's right, because of course, you know, Yoruba people, the ones that lives in Lagos and some of these urban areas, they are kind of they've experienced a life outside of the rural behavior, so they are kind of a bit polished to understand the differences that they need to use to decide who to vote, which means they will.
Again, not really. Sorry, say I had to push back like this, right? Not really, because I think Peter Obi won another Southwest state other than Lagos. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's just Lagos people. I don't know the particular state, but I think he won another state other than outside of Lagos. So yeah.
Yeah, the margin is very little, but again, we are living in the world of social media, so it's very easy to influence people even in the rural areas. So which means, and now Yoruba people are the only ones that are doing intermarriage with the Igbos in Nigeria in consideration with the major tribes. So they are not all of them are still living in the era of my Emiloko and all of that. So there are still quite a lot of a chunk number of them that believes in one Nigeria and believes in voting the right candidate. That's why we can be able to get a better some numbers from the Yoruba lands rather more than the Hausa place. So, but in the majority part of it, Igbos are the ones that would vote someone that is not Igbo because they think that that person has a better capacity to contribute to whatever they are coming to do.
Absolutely. And, you know, I made this argument in the beginning when I said, Ojukwu will be our hero. You know, he was on the ballot with in 2003 with Obasanjo. And Igbo people voted for Obasanjo, you know, in that election. So that time, were we not sophisticated that time? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just the bias. And again, this block vote, every region, they vote in block. Go to, like we were talking about the Southwest now. The Southwest people, they voted in block 47% for Tinubu at the time in 2023, right? In the North, they voted again in block. I don't have the numbers now, but they voted again in block for Atiku, right? But when Igbo person, we want the Southeast vote in block for Obi. You people are not sophisticated. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, another thing is I saw someone arguing about the inflation rate. Now, you're talking about inflation rate is 15.45. In any country that has inflation rate above 3% is already in trouble. So there's nothing for you to celebrate. Even if the economy was rebased or so there was some manipulations or whatever, these government people, they do a lot of manipulations. If you're very observant, during the time of Buhari, before he came into the office, during the election period, they changed in Google stock exchange, in the Google where you search the currency value of different countries. If you search for how much is Naira in dollars, when during the time of election, I don't know what they did, the Naira became 1 Naira to $1.
What time was this?
I think this is around 2015, during the time of Buhari's election. I'm not sure a lot of people noticed it. It
$1
was,
Naira
I
to
think
$1. Buhari?
Yes. Yes, I posted it on
that.
I posted a screenshot of that Google search on my Instagram or one of my social media accounts. So it was.
I don't know about that though.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't notice it.
Maybe it was a fluke on the website you were looking at. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it did happen. It cannot be a bug. It cannot be an error. It must be something that happened. So and it kind of coincidentally happened during the time of election, and he
But,
was
but but
there for
here's the
only one
thing.
day.
But here's the thing, right? About this economy, this inflation, what they talk about. I'm not making this up. The economy was rebased in whether 2025 or 2024. I'm not sitting here, making stuff up. The economy, Nigerian economy, was rebased in 2025. The definition of rebase in layman's English now say the items within the use check the items. I'm talking about foods, services, foods and services in the country. Those items, consumer price index, right? There is a basket that they go. They say, oh, these ones now are outdated. Oh, these items now are outdated. They now included new items into that basket, so that are more expensive, like all this AI, IT, financing, all this expensive stuff. They put them in the what's it called now, in the basket. When you use those big numbers now, divide the revenue. That's how you that's how you bring the inflation rate down. That's what they did. I'm not making this up. But it doesn't. If it's not reflecting on the people, if the cost of bread is still the same, and you're telling me the inflation rate dropped, what has that done? What has that done?
In the topic of the naira to the equivalence of dollars, I think if you search on Google around 2015 or so, you might find a reference to that, or you can probably see it in one of my social media posts.
Yeah, I'll probably take a look at that. Yeah, I'll probably take a look at that.
You might not believe it, but you don't have to believe me. I don't really want you to believe me, so you can go make your own research. All right. So that by the way, any country that has inflation rate of 3% and above is already in a big trouble. So you should not even be happy that it's in 15.43 or even to 39%. So do not even argue the fact that it's you are arguing to say that it is 15.40. That is already a big trouble, because the average the average what is it the pay base, what is it, the average income salary of the people in Nigeria is somewhere around 70,000 to 100,000, the minimum wage, right? So, and now you have to calculate the prices of commodities, the basic things that people need to survive: rice, tomato, and all of those things. So, how much can you actually afford with that? Now, let's check some other countries that are very that their GDP are much more lower than Nigeria. Take Malaysia, for example. Take Philippines, for example. Take European countries are very poor, so we wouldn't even consider them. Take a few of these Asian countries, for example. Most of them, even Singapore, most of them have a very lower, much more lower GDP than Nigeria. Before the inflation that was caused by Tinubu removing the fuel subsidy.
Yep.
So now these people, their average minimum wage is somewhere around 500 USD. These countries that I've mentioned. So now with that 500 USD, you can be able to buy a car. You can be able to buy a house. Now it's by a mortgage and by bank loan, not buying cash, right?
Yeah.
So you can be able to live comfortably, not totally comfortable as a rich person, but you can be able to survive. You can be able to buy rice. You can be able to buy basic food items that you need to survive. You can be able to pay for your transport to go to work, and you can be able to buy basic things that you need to survive.
Yeah.
With the $500 of minimum wage. Now, Nigeria's minimum wage is around, is it up to $50 or so? Probably
about
somewhere
70,000 naira. I don't know how much it is in dollars.
70,000 naira, which is somewhere around $50 or $100, not up to $100.
Yeah.
So now, how much can you be able to afford with that? You cannot be able to afford your rent. Rent is extremely expensive in a country that there's no electricity, there's no road, there's no water, there's no security.
Yep.
So these are things that usually affects the prices of rents and houses in a country. So any country that has a very high rate of rental or mortgage, it usually means that that country has the level of stability that will bring in that amount of usually bringing in foreigners that will inflate the prices of houses. But what does Nigeria have that inflates the price of houses? So with your minimum wage of 100,000 naira, how much can you be able to rent a house? Not even in the urban areas, in the rural areas, how
Yep.
many houses can you be able to rent? Let's say you migrate to a different city and you want to rent a house. How many can you be able to afford with 100,000 naira? And can you be able to afford your own feeding? Can you be able to afford your own clothing or your transport or the basic things that you need to survive, even the electricity for your house, if there is, can you be able to afford those things? So
Absolutely.
this is a very terrible situation for the people in the country. So that is what the government needs to focus on. Even if you increase the minimum wage to 200 to 300,000 naira, it still did not solve the problem because it's
Absolutely.
almost useless.
The
People
doctor,
cannot
I would
afford
need to
anything with
interrupt
that.
you. I would need to interrupt you, but if you want to round up in 30 seconds so that we'll go move forward. But I'll need to
Yeah.
interrupt you on that one, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I can go ahead.
Yeah, just 30 seconds so that we'll go round up and move forward.
All right. So the last point that I want to make is not you don't have to argue about the minimum wage. The inflation rate is 15.43. It doesn't make sense as long as it's anything above 3%. It's already a lot of trouble. So
No. This is why I'm arguing it. This is the reason why I'm arguing it, right? Because the inflation rate was around 15% when Tinubu took office, which is already bad according to you. And over any person we get, any rational person would also agree. 15% is already crazy, right? That's where the inflation rate was. Now, inflation has to do, what is definition of inflation? Inflation is cost of foods and services, right? Pretty much, right? That's what inflation means, right? Over time, right? Inflation was 15% in 2023. What was the cost of this? And this is from the MBS. I'm looking from the MBS, right? All opinion matters. I don't know if you agree or disagree that inflation is the cost of food and services over time. I don't know if you agree because you have a lot to say there. Now, this is why I'm arguing that 15.3% or wherever it is now in 2026. In 2023, yam tuber 400, according to MBS, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. This is according to our own government. Yam tuber one was 430 naira. Today, one yam is 2,000. This is according to the MBS. 2,300 naira. Yam, one tuber. Tomatoes, according to MBS, 467 naira in 2023. Today, tomato, that same 1 kg is 1,500. So what are we doing? How is the inflation rate 15% now? And it was 15% in 2023. But the cost of food has skyrocketed over 400%. Make it make sense to me. My brothers, my smart brother, make this calculation, make it make sense to me. That's why I'm saying on paper, it is 15.9 or whatever percent. In reality, it's not 15%. Inflation rate is way over that. Then use Mago bring them down, and that's the rebasing they did there. Because they know that 39% does not look good on paper. I'm not making this stuff up. I've had this argument in the past. It took me a while. I was on one show, and somebody mentioned it, and then I went and did some more in-depth research, and that's why I can speak more to it. I'm like, how did the inflation rate just drop? Literally drop from 39% to 15%. There has to be something that happened there. I couldn't figure it out until recently. I did more research, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm explaining it to you. They argue with me. I would love for you to come up and argue this fact, right?
Exactly.
How is it that inflation was 15% in 2023, and today now inflation is 15%, but the cost of food and services 400% since that 2023 till now? How is that?
Exactly. And in that 2023, in the country that I'm living, if I bought a commodity of $50, if I want to buy that same commodity now, it's probably around $50, 50 cents or $51.
Right.
Not very much increase.
Right.
But
we're talking about
Nigeria,
400 naira, one tuber of yam in 2023. Today, it's over 2,000 naira. Over 400% increase.
More than 30% increase. So in
we're
Nigeria,
talking about
you want to buy
400%. You talk 30%. Over 400%.
400% increase. So That's a lot. And the person that is talking about minimum wage is not compulsory wage. That is what you use to calculate your economy if you don't know that. Stop making unnecessary agreements.
Yo.
You're talking about paid in Lagos. If you're getting more in Lagos, you're spending more in Lagos. You make so much unnecessary
arguments. It's
some
unbelievable.
nonsense.
But my brother, the doctor, we need to move forward. I appreciate you for joining. Make we see whether we'll bring another guest up
Thank
and
you very much,
round the show
Kasim.
up as soon as possible. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining. I
Bye-bye.
appreciate you. Thank you. Bye. All right, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm putting facts in your face, and you can still sit there, keep typing and trying to convince me for something way de factual. Like it's a fact. It's a fact. The inflation rate was 39% because of Tinubu's policy. It went up to 39%. Tell me the policy that Tinubu used to bring it down. Let us know. And and let's look at the cost of food since that 2025. Where did the thing drop? What is the cost? Cost of food has kept. According to the MBS, still 2025, that same tuber of yam was 1,900. In 2026, it's over 2,000 naira. So where is the drop? All right. Twist it how you want, my brother. It's what it is. Anyway.
Thank you, brother. Good morning.
All right. Uyi Samuel, thank you for joining.
Good morning. Yes, I just saw you talking, and I was just listening to you. I said, "This guy, you don't come again."
I don't come again.
You they come once in a while, then you go come cause fight where you go last for a year.
I go run. I know they cause fight though.
You go
I know they cause fight though, my brother. That talk at the talk. That talk at the talk, oh, my brother. I know they cause any fight. But yeah, let's talk about it. Igbo voters are not sophisticated voters. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think the write-up there is that you actually make sense. I think the Igbos are not really interested when it comes to voting compared to other parts of the country, and there are facts to that because they are a typical Igbo man is already independent on his own. He doesn't really care about what the government is doing. If you want to provide everything for his or herself, because they are always self-employed. So because of this, they don't really entangle themselves with what is happening in politics. And I think that for me,
your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking if you can hear me. I don't know. Your internet is going bad.
Yes. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
All right, okay. All right, so I think those are some of the things that causes that. But there needs to be some kind of awareness.
That is not necessarily correct. The Igbo people, they come out, they vote. I mean, your argument is that Igbos don't care about voting. No, Igbo people do vote. Igbo people vote.
They don't really put much interest. That is what I mean.
I think they do. I think Igbo people do. I think Igbo people do. But I see where your argument is going. I see where your argument is going. But I think Igbo people put interest in. I mean, how else are you going to put interest in voting if it's not by the votes, right? It's not like it's zero vote.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People are actually turning out to vote.
I think from the way I look at it, compared to other areas where you can easily mobilize voters, they can come out en masse. They can leave whatever, because most of the time probably they don't even have anything doing, because we don't see that kind of activities taking place in the Southeast. For example, when you have thugs roaming the street, shouting and all those stuff, we don't see it. So I think there needs to be a stronger campaign for people to get involved in voting, mostly generally from the southern part, because this issue of people trying to neglect that aspect of governance. If you don't choose the person that is going to lead you, anyhow person will come lead you at the end of the day.
That one is true.
You end up complaining. You need to be part and parcel of the whole process, because I found out that countries where the economy is doing better has to do with very healthy leadership. Look at Ghana, for example.
Yeah.
Look at the policies the Ghanaian president has put out, and how it is affecting the Ghanaians. You can see the enthusiasm amongst them. So I think that is what our people need to come together. The next election, we need to participate. Voters turnout, because the reason why I was saying now, look at Osun, for example. The last election that just happened, the voters turnout was huge. It was about 80%, compared to some states where you have 23, 25, 26. So if you have 80% voters turnout, it simply means the people were interested in that process.
That is correct. That
For
is
that,
correct.
for that
I see your
reason,
argument.
they were able to make very strong impact.
That makes sense.
Even the manipulation, no coffee work, or for no say they mobilize so many persons. Someone was saying yesterday in another platform, the guy said he was at Elisha during the election. Do you know that he said more than 15 or so, if I'm not getting wrong, police commissioners were Osun. That was what the guy said. He said even some of the INEC officials that he knows someone that was paid $3,000. He said they spent more than 60 billion naira.
Yeah, that's the number that has been floating. That the election, that's what has been floating. We're gonna say allegedly because we know they are when they encounter.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what I think. Davido Papa even talked the same thing. So he say over 60 billion naira was spent. So yeah, that's what has been floating.
Okay,
but yeah, I hear you in that regard, and I think the awareness has to be made. So that more people will come out and vote, because that's how you win elections anyway. But yeah, Mr. Uyi Samuel, if you want to round up so that we'll go move forward, unless you have any new... Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I am going to round up now.
All right.
This issue you brought up, please, when we finish with this one, because I am following you.
Yeah.
The next one, I want you to look at the figures they are dashing out for our unemployment rate. I've been talking about that since 2023. Nobody is listening to me. How can the employment rate of Nigeria be lower than that of the United States or Germany or Italy and Spain? Every time I bring this argument up, they tell me that even people that are selling, doing POS, you can identify them as employed. That is not correct. That is not correct at all. Employment, one of the way you check employment is that if what covers employment is able to cover it all, as in your contribution for health, your contribution for pension, your contribution for all those things must be packaged inside that employment. So that you
not really. I think actually, the real data, if we don't have this data, then they can start making stuff up, right? When we don't have the actual data to use to, figure out the employment, they can start making stuff up. The real data is using the like payee now, looking how many people paid taxes or paid taxes to the government. So that's one way all these all these big societies then they use, using how many people paid taxes and all that good stuff. So they can use that to now say, okay, these are the employed people in the country. That's one way they use. But because we don't have all this data, they can make stuff up. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, let me say this before I go. Like here I stay, the way they identify that they have a special board or an office that is in charge. Every employment is sent to them. They tag it. So whenever your income comes, they remove their tax.
Yeah, they do that. Still the same tax. So they talk now. Payee in a tax, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes. So I think another day you will need to bring this up, because that 4.something%. I don't talk about it for more than 3 years. Nobody they care to listen. So I really thank you for your good job.
Appreciate
your
it,
analysis and how you take your time to do your research. Thank you very much. I go see the listening to you.
I appreciate it. We'll go soon end, Sha, but I appreciate you for joining. Thank you so much, my brother Uyi Samuel. Thank you. All right. All right. Make I respond to my other brother. All opinion matters. Make I read some of in chat. Since he's not able to come up today, we always have good debates anytime he's able to come up. But let's read some of his chat since he's not able to come up today. All right. He says inflation does not have to drop prices. The types of inflation are consumer driven and consumer-driven and demand-driven. Okay? Inflation is the ability for costs to increase vis-a-vis the purchasing power of the country over time. I mean, I don't know how you want to twist this definition of inflation. Inflation is the cost of goods and services over time. At this and this, where they put there. Yeah, I don't know if you're trying to confuse me or confuse anybody. Inflation is pretty much the cost of goods and services over time. Pretty much, that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, I don't. This one where they talk say a cost to increase, ability for cost to increase. It's not the ability. It is the cost of goods and services, not the ability. Ability, no, they there. Eh? Eh? It is the increase of cost of goods and services over time. You check how it don't increase over time. You check the percentage. That's what it is. The ability no they there, my brother. Anyway, say check, please. We are measuring 2009 wrong, and that was a correction today. All right. I believe you're referring to the rebasing. No. Buhari rebased the economy as well. So 2009. When was Buhari? When did Buhari become president? 2000 wasn't it 14? No, be 14. Now 2014. Now be 15. 2014, 15. Right. So Buhari rebased the economy during in time. He rebased it. Tinubu's government did the same thing again. They did it again because 39% is not good on paper. It's not good on paper. You don't rebase the economy. Okay, how are the people feeling it? How are people feeling this? You say that 15%. If your inflation is 15 and Buhari's own was 15, come on now. Think, man, you say inflation does not reduce cost of goods and services. Okay, let me agree with you on that one. Yes, inflation drop. You're not going to reduce the cost of goods and services. I agree with you on that one. However, after it was rebased, cost of goods and services still went up. So what are we doing, my brother? What are we doing and saying? I wish you were able to come up so that we'll get the conversation better. No be this back and forth for chat. I like the back and forth in person, you know. I prefer the back and forth in person. But anyway, this is the topic for today. Igbo voters, are we sophisticated or are we emotional? Because that is a tag that has been tagged on us. Say we dey emotional. Say we need to diversify our votes. How is it that the Igbo voters, bloc voted against Tinubu, we'll get to Tinubu, Buhari, twice. And even you, my brother, all opinion matters, you would agree with me that Buhari is not the best thing that happened to Nigeria. I think you would agree with me in that regard. So how is it that these same people who know they're sophisticated could see it before it happened? And they were shamed for it. Until this day, we are still saying they are not politically sophisticated. And they tell you, say, Tinubu will not be the best still. Tinubu carry inflation go 39%. And we're here arguing whether it's 15% or 39%, right? We're here arguing whether it's 15 or 39. I don't know. And these same people are telling you again, this man go carry this thing, go 50. If you give this man another chance. And we are still arguing here. If it's good or bad. If 15 is good or if 39 is good. Come on now. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? But anyway, I think I want to have a very short show today. So I think we've come to the end of today's own. I think we've come to the end of today's show. And I have another show. I'm going to do a part 2 of the xenophobia or xenophobic video or series I made, or whatever, xenophobic show that I made. Because I think it needs to be talked about more. I think it needs to be talked about more. And I've gotten a lot of feedback. And because of the feedback, now it make me want to do the show again. The feedback why they get, now I won't do the show again. Because it needs to be said. And not just Igbo people need to talk about it. I think even Yoruba people need to talk about it. Because we've seen it happen. Even Ijaw people, Akwa Ibom people, every Nigerian needs to talk about it. The xenophobia in Nigeria. Because Port Harcourt people say, now from clap, now in dance they start. And this clap, we don't see them before. After the 2023 elections, Yoruba people were accused. Oh, you look like Igbo. Oh, you look like Igbo. You see what I'm saying? That is a problem. If everybody keeps short and not talk about it, he go hit everybody when he hit. So it needs to be said, it needs to be spoken about, it needs to be talked about, and more. I'm going to double down on that show because I got a feedback. I saw the feedback and I'm going to double down. But that's going to be until next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Until next time, my name is Kachi and I'm the host of the Beer Parlor Show. Peace.